Hey everybody, how's it going? Well, as you can see, I'm not in my typical kitchen today, and that is because I've been asked to go ahead and cook a special women's only breakfast in my church today. Now, that being the case and this being a little bit of a celebration, I wanted to do something special for the ladies. So, I'm going to go ahead and make a croquembouche. Now, a croquembouche is French for crunch in mouth. It's typically a celebration dessert rolled out at baptisms, weddings, things of that nature. So, I'm hoping that this doesn't turn into a lesson video and everything rolls out nice and easy. So, check out the recipe, do one yourself if you dare, and let me know how it turns out. This is going to be a multi-step process, so if you have to watch the video 5-6 times, won't bother me. But as always, I appreciate y'all watching, and I will see y'all again next time.
Alright, ingredients are on the board and it's time to go. Now the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and set up our water bath. That's going to be half ice, half water. Go ahead and just set it aside for right now. We're going to use it at the end of our cream. Next, you're going to go ahead and stir together our sugar, cornstarch, and our salt all in one big heat-proof mixing bowl that you're going to set on top of a damp towel. That's going to keep everything stable as you mix it going forward. Once everything is combined, you're going to go ahead and take your 5 egg yolks, go ahead and plop them in and mix them until everything is pale, yellow, fluffy, and smooth. Now you're going to want to use a balloon whisk for this, and again, this is where having the damp towel helps keep everything stable.
Now, I just got to stop the video for a second and put my 2 cents in. The recipe I did have called for me to use a stainless steel saucier. Now, I do not have stainless steel saucier money, so the pan that you see that I'm using is old and has been around for 4 or 5 years. Obviously, it works fine because everything turned out fine. So, just a life lesson, if you see a recipe call for a very specific piece of equipment, and it's $200, $300 range, don't worry about it. Use what you can. That's supposed to be the fun of baking, right?
Next, you're going to go ahead and take your milk and your lemon zest, put them into your pan together, and go ahead and bring it up to a bare simmer. Now, a bare simmer means that it's just getting started. You're not going to let it sit too long because you don't want to scald the milk. Once you have that simmer, immediately take it off the heat, take it over to your egg mixture, and slowly add it to that mixture. You're going to want a nice thin stream to make sure that you don't curdle the egg that you have there. Now you're going to put the new mixture right back into that pan, and you're going to go ahead and start to cook that until it thickens. This is going to take some speed. If you're not careful, again, you can scald the mixture and burn it. So you're going to want to continuously mix that with your whisk. Once it does start to thicken up, go ahead and give it about an extra minute on the heat to make sure that any kind of starch dissolving protein is neutralized. Now this protein can be found in the egg yolks, so you got to be careful with it. Once you give it that extra minute, go ahead and take it off the heat, put your butter in, and whisk it thoroughly until the butter is nice, melted, and combined. Once everything is mixed up, you're going to go ahead and put it through a strainer and make sure that you catch any clumps or clods that may be sitting on the bottom of your pan here. And finally, once it's strained, you're going to go ahead and take some plastic, put it right over the top of that cream to make sure that no film develops, and you're going to go ahead and put it in your chilled water bath. Once you take it out of the water bath, go ahead and let it sit for 2 hours in your refrigerator. Now, if you've watched my channel before, you've probably seen me do choux pastry before because I used it for the eclairs. So this is going to be a familiar process for you. Now, the first thing you're going to do is combine your milk, butter, sugar, and salt into your pan and go ahead and bring that to a boil. Now, you're going to set this on high to boil because you want to make sure that not only is your butter melted, but everything else gets kind of mixed up in that boiling process. Once your butter is melted, go ahead and immediately take it off the heat, add your flour, and you're going to take a stiff spatula and go ahead and mix it all up. Now make sure there's no lumps remaining in your mixture here. Even if you have to chase the lumps down and press it with the spatula, do it. Now, once you're 100% sure that you don't have any lumps, go ahead and put your pot back on heat and go ahead and cook your dough until it reaches about 175 degrees Fahrenheit. Or if you don't have a thermometer, you're going to see a white filmy substance form on the side of the pan. That's how you know that it's done and ready to be taken out. Place your dough in a mixer with a paddle and beat it until the temp drops to about 145 degrees or until you can freely touch it without burning your fingertips. Once you reach that temperature, go ahead and start adding in your eggs one at a time and thoroughly beat before you add in the next one. You don't want to overload this dough or it's going to become a lumpy mess. Once all the eggs are added, go ahead and scrape down your sides and give it one more good mix to make sure that everything is nice and where you want it to be. Now, it doesn't keep long, so immediately go ahead and put it in your pastry bag with your preferred tip. Now, here comes the easy part. All you have to do next is make sure that you put all your dough onto the baking tray and make sure that you have about 25 puffs per tray. Now, these will slightly expand as they bake, so make sure you have at least an inch apart from each. Once you have everything piped out, go ahead and sprinkle all your puffs with powdered sugar and bake for about 20 minutes or until they're a nice golden brown. Now for your filling, you're going to take your cream and your lemon juice from earlier and go ahead and mix them together. Then you're going to take what the result is and your heavy cream and go ahead and mix them until it's nice, smooth, and fluffy. You can do it by hand or by machine. It's completely up to you. By this time, your puff should be done. As you can see, mine got a little away from me. I was not familiar with the oven. But you're going to go ahead and fill each of the puffs with the cream. Now, these puffs are going to be hollow, so if you cut them open to fill them, don't freak out. That's how they're supposed to be. Now, the next part for me is always the most difficult, making the actual caramel sauce. Now, on paper, it's 2 ingredients. It's sugar and water, but this stuff is so temperamental, you have to keep an eye on it. So you're going to go ahead and mix your water and your sugar together and go ahead and get it to a rolling boil. Now you're going to continuously mix with a fork until you get to that boil. Once you get that boil going, do not stir with a fork anymore. You're going to want to shake and kind of tilt it until you get that nice amber color that we're looking for. Once you do have that nice amber color, you're going to go ahead and transfer it to another bowl, a smaller one, so you can use it to dip your puffs in and to decorate your tower at the end of this. Now it's finally time for assembly. You're going to dip each puff, the top of it, and place it into a circle. Now you can do it however big you want it, however small you want it. It doesn't matter. For me, I did 8 at the bottom and worked my way up, just so I could have enough for everybody that was around. All you need here is a steady hand because that caramel will burn you, so be very, very careful. I started out with gloves, but they weren't thick enough, so then I just went with my fat fingers and did my best. I still came out with a burn, but hey, it was fun while it lasted. Once you have all your puffs dipped, you're going to take a fork and just decorate the top of it and make it look stringy. After that, it's good for about 2 hours to sit out, but I would recommend serving it hot.